Okay, I thought it might be fun for us to wrap up our North Carolina tour in the Beechcraft. So we're sitting at the end of the runway in Murhpy. We're going to make our way over to Concord. We're going to make our way also across the Northern Piedmont of North Carolina. And then we will turn our way south and end up in the south central Piedmont for our final destination. And that'll return us to where we started in the first place. So let's get going. Just do a quick check here real quick. If our situation is situated. And looks our lights are good. Pitot heat is now on. A little chilly here in the cabin, but that's what a jacket's for. Alright, let's roll. Parking brake is off. And we're going to do a 0 flap takeoff this morning. And we are up, positive rate. Gear coming up. And we can start our turnout here. Continue our climb out here. This aircraft is a lot of fun to fly too. And we'll go ahead and start getting our autopilot situated here. Get our heading bug. Move around. Autopilot on. Go about 6,500 feet for our altitude. And put our rate of climb at 500 feet a minute. And we can enjoy the flight. Yeah, this mountain sunrise is quite impressive. Alright, we are now making our way over Robbinsville. Alright, so we're making our way to the north, and we'll intercept the Little Tennessee River, and then we'll turn to the northeast, make our way across to Fonata Dam will be one of our visual waypoints, if you will. Alright, probably should be doing a little navigating here. Turn to about 70 for our heading. And if you're not using Little Nav Map as a part of your flight sim experience, you need to download that. I'll try to remember to include a link in the description. Really should do that for all of the flights that we do on the channel. This is about a 94-mile segment here. This will take us over to Avery County, which is 7 Alpha 8. Alright, you can take in some of the scenery over here with the Little Tennessee River. Get the camera angle a little out of the sunlight here. And that'll be better. Watch the world go by from this angle for a few minutes. And let's see, winds today 278 at 7 Got a little bit of a tailwind. Ground speed 186 knots. Give ourselves a little bit of a climb here. Make sure that we are in good shape with this ridge line in front of us. We should be fine, but add a bit more lift. Coming up on Clingman's Dome, just right here off of our nose. Great place for camping, hiking. You can see the view is absolutely just incredible. It's one of the more scenic spots, in my opinion, in the North Carolina mountains. It's gorgeous. Our next major landmark would then be to our 3 o'clock, Cherokee, North Carolina. Quite a few opportunities for having some fun on a motorcycle with the geography that we're going over. If you've never done that, it's definitely worth the ride. We're continuing to move along quite nicely. Winds are still 283. About 7, still with a tailwind. So that'll give us a little bit of a push. Okay, so as of this recording, I do have a poll up on the site. Tell me where you'd like to go next once we finish up this North Carolina tour. There are several different ideas out there, or use the comments to post your own thought. Always open to doing something different. So there's a couple of short takeoff and landing opportunities, bush-oriented kind of flights. And then there's one option that I listed that was taking advantage of historic aircraft and historic travel routes. Again, be interested to hear what you folks think. Yeah, I think for our next aircraft, we're going to change gears a little bit. We're going to take a look at a piece of payware from Any Builds. And we're going to look at the P-40 Warhawk. It's been out for a bit. It is quite good. It sounds great. It's got some interesting features. And it sounds really good too. I think if you haven't taken a look at that, you will be impressed. Particularly if World War II aircraft hold any interest for you at all. It's a good one. There's no reason to hide that to the end of the video. But we'll take a look at it in some period correct scenery as we get closer to relaunching some of our World War II aircraft. We can do a little bit of a sneak peek. That's subject to change. We may use Edwards. That's always a good alternative, particularly for military shakedown flights. That's a good one. And we can make a few circuits there. And we'll do some sort of cross country in it too. At any rate, that's at least what I'm thinking at the moment. So, any builds P-40 Warhawk. And then I'm going to cycle back around and take a look at Flightsim.to and see if there's been anything interesting, updated, or newly released. Because there's always stuff happening. The happenings are happening. Let's see. Oh, we're on autopilot. Quite a bit of airliner fare on the home page. What do we got here for scenery? Probably about 50% of our way to Avery County. Yeah, I do think that Flightsim.to is an overlooked resource, particularly if you're new to the sim. I'm not sure it would be an incredibly obvious find. It's https flightsim.to, the letter T, and the letter O. Alright, so it looks like there's a interesting looking piece of freeware available on .to for the Peak District. Looks like some UK dams that have been reworked. They look, at least from the screenshots, look nice. So check that out. That might be a good cross-country tour trip to make in conjunction with using those. Those are always fun. And the usual collection of liveries and such. E2 Hawkeye has been updated, so we'll have to go and take a peek at that. Yeah, so there are a couple of things out there of interest. Alright, so we'll check that out in a later video. Anywho, Meanwhile, back at the flight plan, I guess we could be good pilot citizens and jump in here. Okay, we're about 34 miles out. Get the RPM down again into the green. So we are munching and chewing away. It'll slow us down just a little bit, but again, we've also got a tailwind. 276 at 6 knots. As we continue to make our way through the Blue Ridge and to our 3 o'clock, the Asheville. This will be the French Broad River, which was about 6 months ago site of some historic flooding that took place in North Carolina with Hurricane Helene. I think I've probably yacked enough about that during the tour to feel like we've got that well covered. And there is a absolutely wonderful and challenging airstrip not too far off of the magenta line here. It's 2NC0. It's mountain air. I want to give that a check out. If we end up doing the North Carolina short takeoff and landing airfields, we'll definitely include that in what we do. Otherwise, go check that out. It's very, very cool. And we're also coming up on Mount Mitchell. Absolutely gorgeous place. It's the highest mountain in the Appalachian mountain chain. A wonderful and challenging place to go hiking. Exercise bear safety. Some of the most gorgeous night sky views and views out of a telescope I've ever seen was at the top of Mount Mitchell. It's absolutely gorgeous. The summertime night sky is just, words don't even grab hold of it. Alright, so runways at Avery County. Runway 35 and runway 17. 3,302 feet of runway distance. We are coming up on the airfield like a freight train. washed around a little bit today. And just off our tail is mountain air. So we can get a reasonable shot of it here. Without going into the drone camera. There we go, on the top of that ridge. The view on approach and on takeoff are outstanding. Okay, got ourselves on a good intercept here to get back on the magenta line. Start turning in. So our next town will be Spruce Pine. Oh, this would be in Yancey County. Oh, excuse me. More coffee. All sorts of interesting names you will find on a map. Snake Den Mountain does not really sound particularly inviting. And we will we'll continue on. Okay, we can come off the autopilot here. So the wind direction is not favoring either runway, so just make our way over Spruce Pine and then turn back to the northeast. Still continuing to, it will be more of a tailwind direction here. It's 279 at 5. We're just going to do a flyover anyway, so we need to make our way. Airfield in sight. I'm sure that is probably the main high school here in Spruce Pine, if I had to guess. Here we go. Here's Avery County. This is a cool looking runway. Got some buildings here. A place to get a coffee. Alright, let's get our airspeed back up here and we'll climb back out. Make our way back over to the magenta line here. Come over this ridge and then turn back to the east. There are folks in the sim community that dearly love their black square aircraft, and certainly this variant of the Beechcraft is available in that ilk. I am quite happy with this one. I think for probably about the first year I was participating in group flights, this probably had 60 or 70% of my participation in this one plane. So I'm one of those folks that falls in the camp of you need to be flying your plane on the regular to really get a good idea for what it's capable of doing and to make it more enjoyable. You can dive into whatever systems are modeled in the aircraft and just have some fun. We'll come back on to autopilot here. Altitude reset here. Another major landmark coming up here fast is Grandafther Mountain. It's another major tourist attraction here in the Carolinas. Under the Mile High Bridge. No thank you. It's not a height thing, it's a bridge thing. phobias for $500. Alright, so our next major populated spot here is the delightful small town of Blowing Rock, North Carolina. There are lots of places to eat and fun things to go and do and hiking to get done. I definitely recommend that as a very, very cool place to visit. Past history, we got to spend a lot of Christmas weeks with my mother-in-law and father-in-law. And it is absolutely gorgeous. There's also a low altitude high-speed training run that goes down through the Boone and Blowing Rock area. So from time to time you'll get surprised. Seen quite a few F-15s come through on their little low-level jaunt. Once we clear Boone, then this will be taking us up toward the North Carolina and Virginia state line. So there is a wonderful place in Virginia to ride bicycles. So it's the Virginia Creeper Trail, located in Damascus, Virginia. Would not be too far from Ashe County, which is our next airport. And Mount Rogers is a beautiful place. Ride a bicycle from Virginia Highlands over to Abington, Virginia, following an old railroad bed. It's just a lot of fun. It also crisscrosses part of the Appalachian Trail, so if you're a hiker, you might want to take advantage of that too. Make our turn here over across Boone. Home of Appalachian State University. the large school in the University of North Carolina system. Music and education and all sorts of majors to pursue there. Oh, there you go. Alright, so this is about a 17-mile run here to Ashe County. Yep, 17.2 miles. And we have been not kind to our engine on this flight, but that's okay. That's not okay, but you get it. All right, interstate to our right here is Highway 421. We'll take you from Boone and Blowing Rock into the central Piedmont. Statesville, Moxville, Winston, Greensboro. And we continue to roll along, watching the sun climb. And then our last leg is going to be 72 nautical miles back into Concord. We'll also be publishing the group flight replay for our Monday flight on Virtual Flight Online here shortly. Did that today. All the more reason to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll see it pop up. We had a fun fly today in the DC-3, so that was the featured aircraft. So we traced a mail route, which is very, very cool. Yeah, this is one part of North Carolina that does seem to get more of its share of snowfall. And West Jefferson is a lovely place, which is off to our 9 o'clock. too far out now from Nash County. And we're just going to do an overfly here. Again, this is really more standard fare in terms of buildings and such, but it is quite lovely to fly in and out of. All right, we can turn our course heading now to about 160. Make our way home. If you're here in the U.S., you may be familiar with Lowe's Home Improvement. And its original corporate headquarters is located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, which would be right off our nose, a few miles to our south. And also home to you follow NASCAR racing in the U.S. One of the original NASCAR tracks is located here in North Wilkesboro. And last year they had the All-Star race here, so trying to breathe some life back into that old track. It had fallen into disrepair and now has been sort of brought back to life. So that's a good thing for the locals here. Good for the economy. An annual balloon rally that is held in Statesville, North Carolina, which is also to our south. It's right on our Magenta Line route on our way back into Concord. That experience was really, really cool. So if you've never partaken in a balloon rally, definitely something to check out. And now you can check it out in the sim in 2024. Look at this view for a few minutes. as we continue to make our way to the south. As we continue to roll along here. And this would be the Yadkin River. Which winds and makes its way across the Piedmont. We transition from mountain to foothills. Still some very, very beautiful scenery. All right, let's jump inside the plane here for a minute. We are now 47.2 nautical miles out. We are again making good time. Winds 277 at 6. And we'll probably come in on runway 21 Concord. 20. Yeah, it's runway 20. Alright, so that will take us across a very, very large man-made lake, Lake Norman. constructed as a water reservoir for Charlotte metro area. It's huge, and lots of boating and fishing opportunities there, for sure, and some flooded towns that will never see the light of day again. At any rate, there's also a nuclear power plant located in Lake Norman, operated by Duke Energy. We are now starting to get into the middle of our blooming season here in the Carolinas, so if you have allergies and hay fever, this is probably not your favorite time of year. .6 miles out. Yeah, we do have an ILS at Concord. 111.95. So we got that dialed in. So we're just going to make our visual approach as per usual. We're coming up on I-40 and I-77 crisscross, 40 going east-west across the state, and 40 goes from Wilmington, North Carolina on the coast, which we have already flown into, all the way across the U.S. to California. And if we follow I-77 south, that will take us to Charlotte, Columbia. And as you can see out into the horizon, just how large Lake Norman is. And this body of water here is the Catawba River. And there are lots of little interesting communities that make a ring around Lake Norman. It's a beautiful community. And here we go to 40 and 77 intersecting here. This will be Statesville, North Carolina. Slightly north of Charlotte. If I remember correctly, there is a very cool handcrafted airport available on Flightsim.to for Statesville Regional. Got some work done on it, so you might want to check that out. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description below in the video. You can find that. I think I'm making pretty good time here. 26.2 miles out. Start losing some altitude. We'll take ourselves down to about 5,200 feet. About 700 feet a minute on the descent. We don't have so much altitude to burn off. It's 1,000 feet a minute. Ish. So Concord Regional Airport is located near one of the largest attractions in North Carolina. It's actually Concord Mills Mall. It's probably about 2 miles, 2.5 miles as the crow flies from Charlotte Motor Speedway. There are lots of places to shop and restaurants to visit. The usual fare of car dealerships and Krispy Kreme donuts, if you're familiar with those. And lots of things available to tempt your taste buds. Yeah, here's a better shot of Lake Norman. There's quite a bit of daily commuter traffic that travels down from the Lake Norman area into Charlotte Metro. Altitude programmed in for 3,500 feet. Getting a little bit more serious about dropping some altitude here now. And we can start slowing up a little bit too. So this will be the town of Mooresville. I've mentioned NASCAR several times. There are lots of race teams who are headquartered in this area. And as we make our way south, this is going to put us across the Cottle Creek Reservoir. So it's our water supply for Kannapolis and Concord. And we're now about 12 miles out. About 3.5, 4 miles from the end of the Feathers, and then we'll turn to heading 20. All right, we'll get our trim neutral here ish. Alright, autopilot coming off. Time to earn our money. There's a very, very large warehouse building that's right at about our 130-ish, which we will use as a landmark to make our turn. And you can see the Cottle Creek Reservoir here. Got the airfield in sight. We need to burn off some speed here and get ourselves down into the wide arc for some flaps. And we'll flaps 1. And there's that warehouse building I was speaking of. All right, so we got 12 degrees of flaps here. And we'll use our prop speed to create some additional wind resistance here, drag. All right, we're set up good here for our landing. As always, thank you for being part of the channel. Please like, and we'd love to have you as a subscriber. Hit the notification bell. I really hope that you've enjoyed this particular series. I know it's been a lot of fun for me because I'm local. On this particular Beechcraft, you got 12 degrees of flaps and then full. And we've got plenty of runway. Not really concerned about that. Winds continuing to wash around. 293 at 6, so. And what would an airport approach be without a rock quarry right at the end of the runway? So this is Martin Marietta Quarry. There are a couple of these here in Concord. And the terrain around the airport is a little deceiving. There's quite a bit of a drop off here once you cross this particular major road artery here, 500 down into the airfield. Home of Hendrick Motorsports' hangar and their headquarters. Oh, we've got a few Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 trees at the end of the runway. I hadn't noticed those before. Alright, we're coming up on the threshold. We'll just settle ourselves down here. There we go. Wrestle with the wind a little bit. And some jitters. Alright, we contacted ground. They said go ahead. We did. Alright, here we are. Right back where we started from. Welcome to Concord. Alright, folks. Thanks for being along on the flight and for the tour. Again, please like, subscribe, do all those YouTube fun things. And until next time, I hope everybody is indeed keeping well. Be kind to one another. Cheers, y'all.